they are about to approve a budget, and y'all weren't even there, the residents.
So let me see a show of hands who actually knew there was a finance meeting this past Saturday. Watch closely, because she's about to regret bringing this up real quick. She asks the room, "Did y'all know about the meeting?" And the silence? Oh, it's loud. Nobody knew. Or wait, 3 people. Just 3. Nah, actually, not a single one of them knew about it. Not one. Not even one lonely soul in that room seemed to know this meeting even happened. But then suddenly the men knew, oh, just those 3. That don't even add up. And that's not Tiffany's version either. So girl, pick a lane. You're doing a whole lot, saying everything and nothing at the same time. Make up your mind, sweetheart. Now let me tell y'all something. I found this little nugget buried deep in the archives. Okay, y'all know I love diving into that dusty footage, and what I uncovered was a moment one of those times Tiffany had herself a full-on meltdown. She was going off about the trustees, having what she dubbed their secret squirrel meetings, except in reality, those weren't secret at all. Those were the regularly scheduled trustee meetings they were supposed to be having. The catch: she just wasn't showing up. So they said, cool, and went ahead without her. See, they were supposed to meet twice a month. But Tiffany kept skipping, so the rest of them kept the process moving. And when she didn't show, they'd appoint a stand-in mayor usually. Trustee House. He'd step up as the acting mayor, and baby Tiffany did not like that one bit. Because what you're not going to do is strip her of her power. Not the youngest black female mayor of Dalton. No, ma'am. And to be real, she did put Dalton on the map. I mean, who even heard of that place before she popped up? I sure hadn't. But now the name Dalton rings bells, and the cherry on top. After Tiffany left, they went and chose the new Pope, yes, the Pope from Dalton. Out of everywhere, they pulled him straight from the same town that was neck-deep in drama. Not just Illinois Dalton, same blocks, same madness. That's wild. But this next part is where it gets real funny. Tiffany's up there, thinking she's making this deep, bold point. She gets all dramatic, turning to the crowd like, "Did y'all know about this meeting? Because they didn't tell me. I had no idea. None of us did. Y'all didn't either, right?" And then boom, the crowd says yes, loud and clear. Everyone knew except her. It's comedy, honestly. You have to see it. I hadn't even caught this clip before. These meetings be running hours long, so I usually just pull out 4, maybe 5 minutes of good stuff. But somehow, I missed this moment. Mama missed it, but now we watching it together. And once you see it, you'll know exactly why I'm hollering.
So let's talk. So one thing that I want to talk about, since they want to basically override everything so residents understand what is going on, override or mayor veto, and we want to combine everything so it can be cool. So let's talk. So one thing that I want to talk about, since they want to basically override everything so residents understand what is going on, override or mayor veto, and we want to combine everything so it can be quick. But we're going to take our sweet time so I can understand, so you guys can understand what's going on. So as it relates to the ordinance for approval of the budget, they talk about transparency, but yet they wasn't transparency in passing a budget on.
It wasn't transparency. Okay.
A Saturday at 9 a.m. when residents not available, y'all not woke, y'all sleep. And then when they talk about transparency, all they talked about was line items. They didn't tell you what that item was. They didn't tell you what they were cutting. Prime example.
Tell us about
I'll show you right now.
Tell us.
Tino, you ready?
We ready.
Hit it.
So here's the thing. This meeting, right here, completely out of line. Legally, multiple violations. But the trustees, they went ahead with it anyway like it was nothing. Sure did. Now, take a look at the screen. See that? On July 21st, they scheduled this meeting and decided to do it over Zoom. Meanwhile, everybody else was meeting in person. Now, isn't that something? And look at Tiffany. She doesn't want y'all hearing what actually went down in that. Zoom? Nah, she's going to give her version, her spin. And what's she saying now? That during the call, they were sketching weird drawings of her, writing threats. Like, girl, what? Just because you say something, don't make it true. We weren't. Allowed in? Huh. Oh, right. Now she's flipping it, saying she wasn't the one keeping folks out. But hold up, y'all. Remember when they said Tiffany was the one locking the building doors? People clapped in that room because they knew. They remembered. She had the doors locked up so tight, folks had to hold the meetings outside. I completely forgot about that part. They were doing meetings on the lawn, in parking lots, even on Zoom, because they literally couldn't get inside the building. So, now suddenly she let them in. That ain't how any of this went down. And here she go again. Y'all had to hold the meeting outside, right? So stop lying, girl. What? Did she just admit it? Like, why would anyone be holding meetings outside unless someone kept them out? Make it make sense. She's just standing up there rambling, still trying to look like she's winning. But, honestly, it's not helping her case. She needs to sit down somewhere and let it go. Now get this, she's standing there, talking about how shady it all is, and suddenly asks the crowd to confirm it. Like, did y'all know about this meeting? Thinking they're going to back her up. Sis, big mistake. Big. The crowd's like, yes, we did, loud and clear. And she's sitting there, stunned, trying to pretend they didn't just say it. Like, wait, what? Nobody knew. And they're like, yeah, we did. Then she tries to twist it, only 3 of y'all knew. Girl, you asked the folks in the room. Those were the people who answered. I didn't hear a single person say, no, I didn't know. All I heard was, yes, we knew. That's it. And now she's trying to move the goalposts. There's tons of residents. Yeah, but those residents ain't in that room with you. You asked the people who were literally sitting in front of you, and they said they knew. So what now? And let's talk about that little email she got at 9:15 in the morning. That wasn't some secret last-minute trick. That was a courtesy. They knew she probably wouldn't show, but they still sent it to give her another shot, adjust. In case reminder, that's all it was, a heads up. And she took that and spun it into, that was my only chance to know about the meeting. Like, that's the hill she's choosing to die on. That's the story she's sticking to. Girl, be for real. Honestly, it's just bizarre at this point. The story's changing by the second. But one thing's for sure, this ain't the win she thinks it is. All right, thank you kindly. Now let's talk about all these tons of residents and the so-called transparency that's been flying around. In the clip, it should have been clear what exactly he approved, right? But no, all he did was run down some budget line items. Now, y'all know what a line item is. You don't just breeze through it. You have to explain what you're cutting and why you're cutting it. That's what real leadership looks like. But let's look at what they actually did. One of the items was vehicle licenses. Another one, liquor licenses. Now pause right there. Tiffany proudly declared that in her year and a half as mayor, she never once issued a liquor license. Not one. Not because of legal reasons or policy issues, just because she didn't like them. That's literally what she said. Like, girl, what? And, let's be honest, as high as her man be walking around looking, baby Kamal looks like he smells like the greenest thing in the garden. You know exactly what I mean. He gives straight up devil's lettuce vibes. You don't even need to be in the same room. You can practically smell it through the screen. But sure, go off about liquor licenses, like they're the downfall of society. So here she is, saying she never gave one out, and not because the applicants weren't qualified or shady, just because she didn't want to. And now she's surprised there's no growth in the community. Businesses can't even apply for basic licenses. That's where she messed up. Honestly, some of these folks might have been able to tolerate her if they had a little drink in hand. Maybe if they had access to a bar, a beer, a glass of wine. Maybe then they could have made it through her madness. Maybe, not likely, but maybe now. Let's break down some more of those budget numbers. The line item for fire recovery revenue, 010000375, got slashed from $75,000 to just $20,000. Go look at that budget meeting and watch how they slide these numbers around. I'll tell you the real story behind each one because I actually looked. Another line, 0100358, for fines went from $25,000 to $15,000. Then there's the bond loan proceeds. Line 0100391, originally $1.2 million, now down to $1.1 million. Why? Oh, that part right there. That was the Tiffany tax. Yep, every line item had a little Tiffany fee slapped on it somewhere. And what they're doing now is scrubbing it clean, erasing every little extra coin she tucked in, removing the fluff, And you know what had me rolling? The fact that she's standing up there thinking she's surrounded by allies, and then boom, she asks the audience if anyone knew about the meeting. And they say, yeah, we did, loud and proud. And her face, baby, priceless. She hits them with the what? Nobody knew about this meeting. Line again, and they're like, 3 of us did. And here she go. Only 3 of y'all, ma'am. You asked the people who were right there in the room. Don't act brand new. Nobody in that room said, no, I didn't know. All we heard was yes, yep, we knew. Then she tries to flip it, talking about how there's tons of residents. Yes, Tiffany, but those tons weren't. Sitting in the room, you asked the people in front of you, and they gave you the answer. You set yourself up, girl. You didn't do your homework. You didn't read the room. And that is where you failed. And don't even get me started on that email they sent her at 9:15 that morning. That wasn't a secret clue or a trap. That was a courtesy. A last-minute, let's give her another chance move. A kindness, really. But she turned it into some kind of, that was the only way I could have known. Sob story. Girl, stop. That's not even a believable lie. That's the weirdest hill to die on. And yet, here she is, laying it all out. She'll really be up there, thinking she's clever. And listen, she might be slick to herself, but she doesn't know her audience. That's where she keeps fumbling. She needs to take a page out of the real political playbook and only ask questions she already knows. The answers to do a little audience research before throwing out these gotcha questions. You gotta know your crowd, because if you don't, well, you end up like Tiffany, alone on stage asking the wrong question at the wrong time and looking very confused when the room doesn't play along. Anyway, Mama had to share that. It just tickled me. When I see something that wild, I have to share it with y'all. Tiffany, you tried it, but baby, next time, know your audience. That's today's advice from Mama. And if you made it this far in the video, drop a 7 in the comments. Lucky. Number 7. So I know who the real ones are. The ones that ride with Mama for real. Because I've been feeling. Not down exactly, but definitely some type of way. So let me get that 7. Just a little pick-me-up. Because Mama loves you, always.